Welcome to Buffy is Angels. I'm one of them. The one that's seen all the episodes. The one that's seen all the episodes many times on both DVD, FX reruns, when they aired, and now on Hulu. And over there's watching for the first time, Logan Adair.
That's me, old reliable. By the way, do we have a name for the Angel show? Have we thought about that at all?
What are you talking about? It's Buffy's Angels. That's so we could do both.
Oh, I didn't think about that. So, all right,
Yeah.
so
We're
but
gonna be doing them on the same show, dude. Like we're gonna make it so it's like one episode of Buffy, one episode of Angel.
but not always. You said like sometimes we would do two angels if
Yeah,
the
but it's gonna be that way for like the first two seasons of Angel.
Okay. So I didn't know that. So when we settled on this name, if we had picked one of those other ones that were in contention, like that wasn't a reason why I picked this name.
That's
Was
the only reason I said okay to this name.
I liked this name independently of that. I didn't even think about that aspect of the whole thing.
All right. Well, it works on many levels.
All right. Well, ready to talk about these episodes, guys.
Oh yeah. Today we're talking about episodes 15 and 16 of season 3 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Consequences and Doppelgangland. Two more classics. God damn it, I love the second half of season 3. All right. Let's get into it. Consequences. It aired Feb 16, 1999, 2 days after Valentine's Day. Logan, who was your Valentine that year?
Well, I was 6 months old. So
So
my
probably your
mommy.
mom's titty.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. The number one song in America. Oh, and I'll tell you, tying into Valentine's Day was WWE or F at the time. They had the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. That was their pay-per-view.
Okay.
And big stuff there. Val Venus beat Ken Shamrock for his Intercontinental title. And I'll tell you what, that was all over. Val Venus seduced Ken Shamrock's sister in the audience and
Wow.
started fucking her and turned her against Ken Shamrock. Then the next day on Raw, Logan, after he won the Intercontinental title, broke up with her in the middle of the ring.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
Val Venus, what a heel.
I saw a thing from like a recent Raw event where there was a sign that said like support LGBTQ rights or something like that. And there was a tweet that was like, you gotta WWE, you gotta do something about this, like pushing sexuality on us. And then someone else like quoted it and was like, what about all this stuff from the 90s? And it was like Edge and like what you're talking about and all
Oh,
that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And they're like, what about this stuff?
CM Punk held up a support LGBTQ sign on AEW recently, and I read that a couple people left from the
Just got
audience.
up and left.
Yeah, just left. All right. Of course, Mankind and The Rock fought to a draw. They hit each other with a chair at the same time. Both got knocked out. And Stone Cold Steve Austin beat Vince McMahon at a steel cage. And also this week on Raw, Logan, the debut of the Big Show.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, how about that? He's not called the Big Show yet. He's just Paul White. And then they started calling him Big Nasty, and then that evolved into the Big Show. All right. The number one song in America is still Angel of Mine by Monica. But over in the UK, they'd moved on to Fly Away by Lenny Kravitz, which I remember being on the radio constantly this year.
Yeah.
Flying to the sky like a dragonfly, so very high. It was just the words high and fly over and over again, just
Yeah.
rhyming them with each other. All right. Number one movie in America, debuting at number one, Logan, Message in a Bottle.
Okay.
Do you know that movie?
No.
Well, I'll tell you what. Robin Wright, 10. All right. She finds a message in a bottle. She opens it up. She's a journalist. She decides, it will be the story of a lifetime if I track down who wrote this message in a bottle. People would be interested in that, right? I mean, no, but in the movie world, yes. And it was Kevin Costner, Logan, and then they fell in love.
Wow, of course.
All right, based on a Nicholas Sparks book, 5 years before The Notebook. All right, number 2, Payback. Debuting at number 3, My Favorite Martian. I remember I snuck into around this time. I saw a movie, then I snuck into My Favorite Martian, and then before it started, I was like, "What am I doing?" And I just left.
You ever watch it since then?
No, oh no, I think I did on cable once. It was pretty
that's,
bad.
that's pretty funny.
Yeah. Number 4 is She's All That, and debuting at number 5, a disappointing number 5, Blast from the Past with Brendan Fraser and Alicia Silverstone.
It's crazy. Ever since you have decided to say it like that, he's come up in every episode.
I know, but I'm sticking to it.
No, you're doing a great job.
And I've stuck with calling Fraser to atone for my sins.
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah. Okay. The 2 award shows happened this week, Logan. The Image Awards. You know what that is?
No.
I like asking you if you know what that is because I brought it up on the show probably 17 times now, and every time you don't know what it is.
Okay, what is it?
It's the Black People Award.
Yeah, that's what I think, but I don't want to say the black people thing and then I'm wrong because then you're like,
Well,
oh, Logan, the black people thing.
It's worse that you don't recognize.
Yeah, all right. Well, now I'll
show.
just take a stab and I'll get it right every time.
All right, take a stab like great black man O.J. Simpson.
Yeah.
All right. The number 1, the best movie of the year at the Image Awards, How Stella Got Her Groove Back. All right, a great film in which Angela Bassett goes to an island on vacation, gets her groove back by meeting Taye Diggs.
Yep.
All right, but the entertainer of the year, Will Smith. All right, Will Smith, ladies and gentlemen, and that's about, I would say, 23 years PS pre-slap.
Yeah. I don't know if that works because that could also be post-slap.
I guess that's true, huh?
Yeah, that's what you got to do before Christ.
It's got BS.
Okay.
Before slap.
Okay. That's what they do before Christ and then after death, right?
I think it's Anno Dominus.
What does that mean?
I think AD stands for something in Latin or something.
I thought AD meant after death. I thought that's like how many years post Jesus Christ died.
I don't think so. So
hey,
wait, we
Siri,
just don't count those 31 years.
What does AD mean?
Digital.
What? That's not what I'm talking about, motherfucker.
Google it. I'm curious now.
AD stands for Anno Domini.
I
Latin
fucking nailed it.
Of the Lord, while BC stands for before Christ. So in my brain, I came up with after death.
Yeah.
The things my brain does. And I amaze myself all the time.
Yeah. Anno Domini.
That's pretty good. Right. Good job.
The ESPYs happened, Logan. That's the sport awards.
Right.
All right. And I'll tell you what, the athlete of the year. All right. Any guesses?
OJ.
Nope. Mark McGwire. He had just broken the home run record, popped all them steroids, and baseball was at its best ever, in my opinion. And the number 1 NBA player was Michael Jordan. I wrote that down for you because you care about that shit.
Really? That's kind of crazy. This is after he won all his championships. He's still number 1.
He's still number 1. That's how good Michael Jordan was. Okay. By the way, the humanitarian of the year, I noticed, was Sammy Sosa, who also took a lot of steroids.
Well, he was a good humanitarian.
Yeah, apparently a great humanitarian. All right, that's all I got for this week. You got anything else?
No, I had nothing from this week.
All right, killer. let's talk about Consequences. It's written by the great prolific Marty Noxon. What's the last one she wrote?
I can never tell with her because she has like story credits on every episode, kind of. Or maybe she's not one of those people. Sometimes some writers I give up on.
Jane Espenson does that,
Yeah, I
which
think it's
annoys
her.
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I always blame the writer. I'm like trying to get extra
I blame
cred.
IMDb. Why can't they figure that out? Why can't
I
they tell us which ones they wrote?
It's a good point. It's a pretty good point. All right, so Noxon, her last episode that she wrote was The Wish. All right,
Okay.
yeah, which was a pretty great one. Now she's doing Consequences, and this one's directed by Michael Gershman,
She's really
who
good because we've brought up how some of the other writers, like when they come back, they just bring back the thing that they wrote in the last episode. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
But she writes stuff all over the map. She does all sorts of different tones and with different characters. I understand why they keep bringing her back. She's really good.
Oh yeah. I mean, she's the one. Like when later in the series, when Joss Whedon had like multiple shows on the air, she was in charge at Buffy when he wasn't there.
Yeah. Great pick.
Um, yeah, great pick. This episode is directed by Michael Gershman, who is the DP of Buffy.
Yeah, I
And
thought that was really awesome.
yeah. He directed one episode in season 2, which was Passion, the Jenny Calendar death episode.
Great
And
one.
now he's back for this one. And I think they start giving him maybe 2 or 3 a year after this because he's good.
He shoots all the episodes?
Yeah, he's like their regular DP.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Um. All right. So Consequences.
Does he shoot the episodes he directs?
That's a good question. I actually don't know the answer to that.
Okay, that would be cool. Try and find that out if you can while I go through some of this, okay?
Okay. Yeah. Scroll these notes.
All right, so anything from like the dream that you wanted to talk about, from like she has like a bad dream that Faith drowns her or whatever. Is that
I mean,
foreshadowing? I don't want to ask anything. But anything from that you want to talk about?
no. I did write about Doppelgangland in that paper though.
Okay.
That
That's cool.
foreshadowing paper.
I was
All
sort
right.
of surprised to learn that that was a Whedon episode after the episode, after I watched it.
Were you? He was like, "Oh my god, I gotta see Allison Hannigan in that costume again."
Yeah, yeah. He even makes reference to her boobs at one point.
Yeah,
But
it's
anyway,
true.
so mom is in the house, and she. By the way, it's this episode's called Consequences, and there aren't really any consequences at all. She's like, in fact, Faith. It ends with her getting a job. Like she moves up in the world at
It's
the
a
end of
good
this
point.
episode.
I think they mostly call it that. It's like I always thought of Bad Girls and Consequences like being like a two-parter.
Yeah, it is. It is. It feels like we should have covered it back to back. Like it
Yeah.
sucks that the way they're split up. But it's good. It's cool. I like the cliffhanger actually. It was kind of cool.
Gershman didn't shoot his own episode, by the way.
Okay. Yeah. It seems like a lot.
This
But
fellow Raymond Stella, who's usually a camera operator, he did it.
all right. Um so I sort of have a question about Wesley. He Why does he tell Buffy to research this even though it's not supernatural? Does he know something?
No, I think it's just like
He's just really doing his due diligence here.
he's new in town, and it's on the Hellmouth, and the top story in town now is this gruesome murder. So he's like, look into it.
Okay, because this is the first time that's ever happened where like a no, that's not true. Where humans die all the time, but yeah, but I guess that raises the point even more. Humans die all the time, but this is the only point where we've done it. Like Giles must have really sucked.
Or maybe Giles just understands the thing. Like that's for the cops. We only cover the supernat.
Yeah, I get. Well, that makes it even more of a coincidence that the one time that it happens, she's doing the research.
But I
Anyway,
think what makes it not a coincidence is that it's Wesley. Like
I get.
Wesley.
I guess I'm sort of talking in circles here because it is Wesley. But then that just makes that just makes me think Giles sucks, though.
All right. Well, he got fired. Maybe there's reasons for that.
Yeah, I like Xander in this episode too. I was like, I wonder why they fired that guy. Like, you could see why. So Cordelia comes in and she's looking real hot, right?
Yeah.
Wesley's like, ooh, who's this girl? And I like Giles. One moment, he's like, he walks past him. He's like, student, just like really fast. It's really funny. And Faith says she's jailbait, which I thought was good. I thought that was a
Yeah.
good line.
First word jail, second word bait.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Willow is wearing overalls she's actually wearing overalls in the next episode also, but in this episode she looked like Chucky to me. What do you think?
I thought she looked even worse than the next one. It was one of the worst sweaters I've ever seen.
Well, in the next episode she has on red overalls, but in this one she has on blue overalls with a red shirt under it, and I thought she
And
looked like
she's got the red hair. I didn't notice the Chucky resemblance,
yeah,
but I'll
it
have to
was the
go
red
back
hair that
and
that
look.
made me think Chucky. All right, that's crazy. You didn't think that. But I want to bring something up because in the last episode we talked about how remember the guy Michael,
Yeah, the dude from Rilo Kiley.
the guy who his dad beat him,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We had
And
the theory
gingerbread.
that because you said he never showed up again, we thought that his
Yeah,
dad
but
might
he's
have.
referenced here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
I noticed that.
referenced. So he's still alive at this point. I wanted to bring that up. So shout out to Michael and shout out to Amy. They're gonna go work on Amy. But um Angel has a flashback. Do you care about that?
Um, Angel had a flashback.
He's there and he sees the blood and then he's like, "Oh, remember the last episode where Buffy
Oh,
had the blood?"
yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah, I do. And you like that part?
I mean, it's fine.
All right. So, uh Paper Shredder, I want to say shout out to Shredder. We're done talking about the Ninja Turtles,
By
but
the way, I could not stop thinking about Shredder during that scene.
yeah. He says it. He says Shredder a few times
I
in the
know.
scene. So shout out to Shredder, all the different people that played Shredder. And they
I'm gonna say this. I think the mayor is a better villain than Shredder.
Oh, I agree. I agree so far. I agree with that. But they learned that what's the guy's name that died? Alan Finch.
That's correct, Deputy Mayor Alan Finch.
He had splinters in him, so they're like it was probably a stake, so it was probably a vampire slayer. So
That's right.
let's get on that.
I
Figure out
love
what
that.
that's all about.
There's some like Buffy versus CSI in this episode.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like here, where Buffy and Faith are sneaking around and they're in Finch's office, and then they see the mayor and Trick, and they're like, "Ooh, those must be the bad guys, right?"
Yeah. So this is the episode where like the mayor develops sort of anger towards the Slayer, and the Slayer, the Scooby Gang now knows that the mayor is up to something sinister.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And Faith, I mean, I guess we'll get to it when we get to the questions because this was part of Josh Merlis's question, um, or comment maybe. But Faith brings up the point that like we do a lot of good, right? We kill vampires and demons and people, everything in the Hellmouth and everything. Like we do a lot of good here. Well, why is it so bad if one person there's one accident, you know? And I get what I sort of agree with her, but also like you can't just avoid it, you know? Like
Yeah.
I agree with her that that it outweighs it. I don't think Faith is bad or anything, but she's being pretty irresponsible the way she's handling it.
I mean, these girls were just normal human girls for like 16 years until their calling to be vampire slayers. So, like, I mean, killing a human being should carry some kind of weight to them.
Yes. And and it is an accident. Like we learn later that Giles says like it happens more than you think. Like it's not that big of a deal. You just have to come clean about it, basically.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I sort of I get where she's coming from. I don't know. But anyway, so what happens next?
You tell me, man.
Oh, Buffy, big scene with Willow where she starts crying. She's like, "Oh, everything's going bad, and Faith killed somebody." She basically comes clean to Willow, and Willow's like, "You got to tell Giles." So Buffy goes to tell Giles, but guess who told Giles first?
Faith did. She lied.
She lied, but guess who sees right through the lie? Giles. He's like,
I
"I
love
know."
him in this moment. I love him. I think this is really like Buffy and Giles have been a little iffy since Helpless. And
Hmm.
I think in this is where like Buffy gains her full trust back with Giles.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And he fully trusts her also. Um, I like Giles still. I'm glad that I like his dynamic at the moment.
I do
Um,
too.
I do wish
Yeah,
we
he's
would.
he's a little unhinged.
Yeah, he is. I wish we would learn like, or have we dropped the mom and Giles thing?
No, that comes back next week.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. So we. Oh. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Quentin. Like he calls Quentin at one point, and
Quentin Travers,
yeah, we get a Quentin drop. He like. What's the guy's name?
the
Um.
actor or the what are you
No.
asking me?
I'm trying to think of Wesley's name. Wesley is
Wesley Wyndham Price.
Wesley Wyndham Price. He's spying, and he calls him. He's like, "Hey," or no, what's the secret word? He has like a secret code word,
Monkey.
monkey, and he's like Monkey. That's pretty funny. And here we go. This is a part of why this episode didn't. I wasn't fully into this episode. Okay,
Whoa!
I definitely like this episode, but I'm gonna bring it up right here. Xander, first appearance, 23 minutes into the episode. That's a problem.
That's a problem for you. I actually did notice that because to me, the Xander stuff is the most memorable part of this episode. And so I wasn't expecting him to show up so late.
Yeah. It's pretty weird the way the episode's constructed. Like there's a lot of problems with everything, and then like where is Xander? But then he just shows up late and he has all the answers to the problem, and then he can go. But I guess he doesn't answer the problem, I
The
guess.
thing I love
But
about this episode though is there's no monster of the week at all. Like even in Bad Girls, like they're dealing with the faith shit, but there's all that Balthazar stuff happening
mhm.
behind, on the other side of it. They don't bother with that this episode. Like faith is the story of this episode, and I appreciate
Right.
that.
No, yeah, I like that too. I like that too. I had a lot of questions about like the Xander stuff. It didn't make a lot of sense to me. But so Xander shows up and it's good. He's like, guys, I'll take care of Faith. What are you talking about? I'll do all this. And they're like, you? Why would you do it? You have no relationship with Faith at all. We've never seen you talk to her ever. And he's like, just trust me, guys. Trust me. And they eventually put it together. And
Willow puts it together first.
yeah, she put it together first. And she later is crying about something. Was it this?
Yeah, I think it's this. Like
What's going on?
she's moved on from Xander, but just the idea of like, I think what it really is like she's upset that like Faith is like taking her friends away from her. Like Buffy has been like best friends with Faith recently to the point where like she's not hanging out with Willow, and Xander fucked her. Like that's like the love of her life. Like I just think like Willow's kind of in a bad place right now. By the way, I think Alice Hannigan's incredible in that scene.
She's gotten really, really good. Really
Yeah.
good. She's been I think she's been the most improved. Not that she was
Maybe,
bad to start with, but I just think she's so good now. I just think every scene she's so good.
yeah,
She's like really a professional now.
and when she cries, like there's something about Allison Hannigan crying, I think, that just makes her stuff worse. Like I feel worse for her than anybody on the show.
I don't know. Buffy's really good at that.
No, she's great too. Yeah.
I think she's great. Um, all right, but so Xander goes there and he's like, "Don't worry, I'm not gonna like rape you." Basically, is what he says to her. And
Jesus, he doesn't say that.
yes, he does. He says like, "I'm not gonna like hurt you. I'm not gonna like force myself on you." And she's like, "Do you think you even could or whatever?" That's what he says. He says like, "You can I come in?" And she's, "That's what happened." Am I wrong about that?
No, he's just like, I'm not here to fuck you. Like this isn't a sex thing. I need to talk to you.
Oh, I thought it was like that she didn't want it and he wouldn't force himself on her. But then
Why,
she ends
why
up
would
doing it to
Xander
him.
think that he could force himself on Faith?
I thought she brought it up because she was like, "What makes you think that I would even want?" I thought, I don't know. Anyway, but Xander brings something up that was they've used in another episode. The thing where he's like, I only need 5 minutes. And then he's like, oh, but that's not what I meant. Do you remember when they brought that up at one other point?
Oh, yeah, I kind of do.
You remember the episode though?
No.
It's Halloween. Remember?
Ah.
When he's like the military guy trying to get in there and she's like, only need 5 minutes. And he's like,
Oh,
oh, but that's not what I mean.
that's not Halloween. I know what you're talking
What?
about
Yes, it
now.
is.
No, it's not. It's Innocence, where he's using like the stuff he remembers from Halloween to sneak into that
Motherfucker.
military facility.
God
Yeah.
damn it. Really?
Yes.
I thought that's the same part where the guy comes out and he's like trying to rape. There's so much rape in this show. The guy's trying to rape Buffy. I thought that's that.
Larry? No.
Yeah,
No,
I thought that's that scene.
this is when they're sneaking in to like steal the rocket launcher.
Yeah, I know, but I thought outside that place she runs into Larry. God damn it. All right,
Because
well,
he's all serious in the Halloween episode, and this is when he's talking to that guy who's guarding the thing, and he's like, "I just need 5 minutes to show my girl the big guns." Forget I said that.
yeah, but I thought that was that other episode. All right, but then
You'll never beat me in Buffy trivia.
yes, I will. Yes, I will. Then Faith tries to rape Xander, kind of, right? See, want, take. You brought this up. You said, remember this. This is part of Faith's thing.
Yeah,
So Faith does that on Xander. She gets on Xander, and then she starts trying to kill him, I think. She's like, right?
she's choking him.
And then bam, she gets hit by Angel. Angel shows up.
This was a
And
formative scene for me, Logan. I want you to know that. When I think of Faith in my head, she's wearing what she's wearing in this scene of Buffy.
I didn't even remember.
It's like leather pants and her hair is kind of up. This episode, I don't know, man. Maybe it's the choking thing. Maybe I've got some latent weird fetish, but I remember as a kid, like this like cemented my love for Faith forever.
Wow. I thought that would have been the dancing in Bad Girls when they go
That was
cut
big
loose.
too. This is the very next episode. We get these back to back, and I'm like, this is my girl.
All right. So you've pivoted. You're off Buffy, you're on to Faith now.
Yeah.
Wow. You were never a Willow guy?
I
Maybe a
mean,
little later.
I was everybody guy, but
Yeah,
you
you're
know,
right.
I always have one top pick.
All right, and that's faith. All right. You gotta have faith, right?
I
By the way, Daniel, uh, so before we started recording, D Train and I were talking about the Titanic submarine, and I want to tell you something. One of the funniest moments ever on Twitter. Russell Hantz tweeted on Twitter, "Keep hope alive."
What a dumbass.
Russell Hantz tweeting "Keep hope alive" about the Titanic submarine was an all-time moment in my life. That was so funny. Anyway, all right. So Faith, oh, Wesley shows up, right? They have Faith chained up, but then Wesley and his who is this crew? How do you find this crew? Craigslist? What happened? What's going on
No,
here?
this is what he called the Watchers
Oh,
Council for
all right.
reinforcements.
Right, he called Quentin Travers. What's his name?
That you got it.
Oh hell yeah. So they come in and they beat up Angel and they capture him or whatever. But then they take Faith, they put her in a truck and they're like gonna
Wait,
transport her.
I feel like you're going really fast through a
Oh
couple
really?
things. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me just I think the scene between Faith and Angel is really important. Just
Yeah.
like because they've never really talked before, and I feel like they have a bond
Oh
going
yeah, that was boring
forward.
to me.
Fucking
No,
hell.
I just didn't really know what they were talking about.
To me, like in that scene, Angel was more like the Angel of the show Angel than we'd seen up to this point.
I thought Angel was like his name is Angel. I thought that was what we were gonna get in Angel.
Well, that's the action stuff. But this him like talking to Faith about like how people want to do genuine good out there.
No, you're right.
Like,
That was good actually. He was like, before I came here, I thought people just wanted to hurt people. I didn't know that like they had all this like complex stuff going on. That's actually pretty good.
yeah, yeah.
I'm mistaken. You're right about that. I just didn't have any notes on it.
And I
But
also just wanted to say the montage of everyone being sad and shit.
mhm.
I looked up what song that was, and it was by Kathleen Wilhoit, who's an actress. I didn't know she had like a music career. Like I know her from Gilmore Girls as Luke's sister.
Okay. I don't
All
know.
right, so people out there who've watched Gilmore Girls remember Luke's sister? She sung the song in this episode. Wild shit.
That's cool. That's cool. All
Yeah.
right. So, Faith. Oh, can we go to Faith? But they say they're gonna take her to London, right?
Yeah, to
Wesley
like
was gonna move her there.
yeah, I think like the Watchers Council is gonna like decide what to do with her over there.
She still has no watcher. That's what's going on.
Wesley's her watcher.
Wesley watches both of them.
Yeah, Wesley's both their watcher.
So, oh, they had Gwendolyn Post, right? But then she lied or something.
Well, they didn't appoint Gwendolyn Post. Like Gwendolyn was an ex-watcher who like knew what to say.
Right, but she came in between. Uh, who was her? I'm so confused. How did Faith show? Oh, because of Kendra.
Yeah, Kendra died. Faith was called.
Yes, I was
Faith
confused.
had
How
a watcher in like Massachusetts or something, and he was killed by that vampire Kakistos who had like hooves and shit. And
yes,
we never meet that character. And then Kakistos follows Faith to Sunnydale.
yes. Okay, I'm sorry. So we Faith leaves. She ends up escaping somehow, and she goes to a boat. Right?
Yeah, she says earlier in the episode, like, worst
I'll
comes
just
to
bail.
worst, like I'll just get my. There's a freighter leaving every 2 hours or something.
Yeah, and that's where she goes. And so we go there and we find her, and there's some vampires show up. We fight some vampires, and I have a question. So does does Buff okay? Does Faith? I mean, I think she saves her because Faith is a nice person. But does she save Buffy because to save Buffy, or does she save Buffy to kill Trick and take his job? Is she thinking that far ahead in this moment?
I don't think she is thinking that far ahead,
I
but
don't either. I don't either.
people have debated that.
Oh, okay. Okay. It was one of my questions, but I don't think so either. I don't think so either, but I had to ask it. And so basically Faith saves Buffy, and Buffy tells Giles, "Hey, Faith saved me." And Giles is like, "Great. So Faith might be all right after all."
React to
Then
Mr. Trick dying. That's a big moment.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Trick died. We sort of talked about it the other day. So
Yeah, but that was off mic.
well, actually, we did in the Turtles episode. I said R.I.P. Trick.
Oh, that's
because
right.
he was in the Turtles, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yes, R.I.P. Trick. I didn't. He didn't make like as big of an impact as I thought he would. Like he was in the limo in that one episode, and they killed that drive-through guy, and I was like, this is the villain of the season. But no, bait and switch. It was the mayor. The mayor is the villain of the season, I guess.
Yeah.
So he wasn't as great as I thought, but I mean, he was. I really liked him. He was really funny. I liked his dynamic with the mayor. He thought the actor was cool. I enjoyed him.
I just Mr. Trick's in 5 episodes, and to me, he
Mr.
leaves a
Trick?
mark.
What's his first name?
We never know.
He's Mr. Trick? I didn't know
Yeah,
that. I thought he was Trick.
he leaves a mark on the series. I think it's the first really important black character. He's great in that Faith, Hope, and Trick episode. The limo scene's a classic. He's the main villain, really, in that Homecoming episode with Slayer Fest '98. He hooks up with the mayor. He and I think he has a great death scene.
They
I like
fucked?
any. What?
You said he hooks up with the mayor. Wait,
Right.
who was Hope? What was Hope's? Oh, Scott Hope. Scott Hope. I was trying to think of
God
his first
hope,
name.
of course.
Never mind.
But I like any time a vampire reacts to their death before they dust up.
Yeah, he was like, that's not good or something like that.
Yeah.
All right, and then what happens at the end? But the mayor gets a knock on his door, and who was there, D-Train?
It's Faith.
It's Faith, and she's like, "Hey, I just killed that guy. Can I have his job?" He's like, "Sure." So that's where we're at. Well, that doesn't really happen. She just like comes in and they shut the door. But
Yeah.
I give it 4. I'll give it a 4. But I miss Xander. I wanted like one scene of Xander early in the episode. 23 minutes is a long time with no Xander.
I agree with that, and maybe they were it got cut for time or something. But like I think Xander makes his mark in this episode. He's so good in the scene where she fucking chokes him.
Yeah.
It's that scene is so fucked up and great and, and
All
hot.
right. Well, I mean, yeah, but everybody's good. Willow's good. Giles has that great moment where he's like, "I believe you, Buffy."
Yeah.
Buffy sort of, not to say she takes a back seat, but she, I mean, she has that big moment where she cries to Willow, and she's like, "There's terrible stuff," but
Yeah, but I think
Buffy,
Bad Girls is such a Buffy episode. Like it's so much about Buffy and Faith that I think she does take a backseat to the supporting cast in this one.
yeah, it's sort of like one of the more back seats she's had. I kind of feel like, but my, did we go 4 stars? You went 4?
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, and my MVP, I'm gonna go with Faith for this episode.
Yeah, me too. I gotta.
Yeah, you gotta. You've been having dreams about that moment for so long.
20
Ever,
years now.
ever
Yeah.
since then. And my LVP, I wrote Wesley.
For LVP,
Yeah, I didn't really know who else to go with.
I like Wesley though in that scene with Cordelia at the beginning.
Do I go Cordelia maybe?
Maybe.
Who are any some new people that don't are there any like one this is their one episode?
Let me look at the board here.
Kind of feel like not that really.
Yeah, it's not a
Angel was
lot.
good.
By the way, no Oz this episode.
No Oz. He was still doing reshoots, and he comes
You,
back still with black hair.
he was, by the way. I looked it up.
Yeah, it's by the way, next episode is like the blackest it's ever been.
Yeah, because he's Scott Evil at this point in time.
Yeah,
Yeah, the only real character that we don't see much of is that cop who interviews them. But I sort of like him too because it's the same cop from like Ted and Becoming, like or the maybe Anne or something. Like at the beginning of this season, like he's the cop we always see interviewing Buffy.
that's cool. I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
All right,
LVP. I'll
I'm
go
gonna go
with,
Wesley. I don't really know what else.
that's fine. I'll go Wesley too. That's fine.
All right. Oh, where did I rank this one? Pretty high, I feel like. All right. So I put it. What's this episode called again? Oh,
Consequences.
So I like this one personally less than Doppelgangland, not to spoil too much, but I put this one between Band Candy and Faith, Hope, and Trick. I put it 20.
Wow.
By the way,
okay.
we've covered 50 episodes now.
Doppelgangland's the 50th episode of Buffy. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. All right, so I put it 20 out of 50. That's pretty good. And where do you put it? What do you want me to start with?
I don't know.
The
What's like
Zeppo?
Yeah, I like Zeppo more. So go from there.
Angel, School Hard, Halloween, Bewitched, Bothered, Bewildered, Surprise, Ted, I Only Have Eyes for You, Band Candy, Bad Girls, Revelations, Faith, Hope, and Trick, Homecoming.
You know what? Fuck it. Just put this right after Bad Girls.
I like that. So, wow, so you have it 21, but you haven't ranked the other episode. You might have it at 22 at the end of this.
It will be. Yeah, I like Doppelgangland more.
Yeah. All right, so, but pretty similar. Great job, Marty. Great job, everybody. You crushed it.
Nice work.